I know how valuable those first 48, 72 hours are. And I can only hope that the police also know how valuable that is.
Those Gonzalez girls follow true crime.
And he's got our trailer circled on his map.
This is an interview with James Lynette's wife, who he had just beaten and chased with a knife the day before.
It left the night they bleached it.
I know some people who might have known them.
And then that night it disappeared?
Yep.
Like, I know people who didn't come back.
Yeah.
One car still has not been back.
How much lead is in the water there?
The FBI came over to you. Red car out here being cleaned with bleach.
What?
That got the FBI called in. Were they going in the car to wipe it out, or did you see where
Inside, they were doing it inside the car. On the seats inside.
On this road? Like, in this trailer park?
Honestly wonder if they just classified some of these tips as, oh, that came from the trailer park. Don't follow up with that one, it's a crackhead.
Did you hear anything about that?
I've not heard about that.
What, did Moscow, Idaho just have like an extreme surplus of creepers?
It's a guy, a girl?
It's two guys.
Two guys.
We've only seen one of the guys. Probably in the late 20s.
Do you confront them and say, what are you doing?
No.
So
With everything going on,
You one of two guys, is there like a big burly guy that you live with?
I have a pretty tall roommate.
Okay, so
I think he's already gone home.
The fact that these two are kind of in sync with their story seems like they're telling the truth. But when he asked that kid about it, the kid's like, oh, a lot of people I know just left and never came back. That aligns with what she just said. Car disappeared after they bleached it. That dude at the vape shop?
That she'd been stalked recently.
Would you share intimate information with that guy?
A one-off thing, that this is apparently something that Kaylee had tons of issues with.
He sounds like the stalker. Enon, who didn't hear anything, and then a few days later, oh, we heard a scream.
People know where you are if you try to kill us.
That neighbor's a little bit sus.
You're like thinking I'm not gonna stab you.
Whoever wrote all those 4chan posts clearly headed out for those two frat boys and is willing to sabotage a murder investigation to implicate those two. I mean, I hope the FBI knows who wrote that and has them on a watch list somewhere.
Doesn't have to go up the steps.
And the Moscow Slayer is asking to be arrested. Like, what kind of deranged person would post this right after a murder?
Behavior of the victims was different leading up to the brutal killing.
Papa Raja, inside looking. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? You would think that everyone in that town has the same goal, to get a killer off the streets, but no, it seems like everyone just wants to interfere with the investigation. Between those two schools, there are a lot of student deaths. Something ain't right. To be honest, I think you'd be safer in Moscow, Russia. Everything is PR. The income for that town comes in through that school. You want it to be an isolated, targeted attack. You don't want it to be a local. You don't want it to be a student. You don't want to be associated with the fraternities. Not the drinking. It's not the rocks. It's definitely not the fraternities. Ever since that first presser, it was like the mayor in Jaws saying, beaches are opened, everything's fine, come spend your money. If the investigation was done properly, you shouldn't be forcing a square peg in a round hole at this point. Everything should be lining up, falling into place. Is it? We don't know. And they strategically released so little information, or wrong information, to collect 10,000 worthless tips on purpose, to bury the defense. When did the DoorDash information ever even come into play? I mean, the first time we saw it was on the PCA, and it says that the Dasher reported it, so like, they didn't have that information coming out of Xana's phone. And it says received, so maybe it was sitting out there for hours, you know, and she fell asleep and then woke up and received it. The town is whack.